Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Took the WRX up to Thunderhill Raceway in Willows, California on Thursday and had the opportunity to do quite a bit of filming with the car. And so I wanted to create a little video that covered the fastest lap of every single session. So Golden Gate Lotus Club was generous enough to allow non-Lotus owners to attend. And the car count was quite low, and we got 6 or 7 sessions out of the day. And I tend to skip the last session, so I think I got 6. It was predicted to rain for I think mid-morning to early afternoon, and so for the first 3 sessions of the day, I ran my kind of daily driver tires or street tires, General GMAX RS tires. And the idea was that if it did get a little wet, those tires should perform better than the semi-slicks the Federal semi-slicks that I then later ran in the afternoon. So for the very first session, the only thing that we had done to the car was just drop the tire pressures to 32 cold and left the rebounding compression at baseline from what was provided or recommended to me by MCS. And here it is.
Had a little gear grind there on a third.
So that was a pretty good shakedown for the car. First session of the day, and a completely new suspension setup. Fastest lap was a 132.9, which is the fastest I've done thus far in that car with those tires. So it's awesome to see the lap time improve. One of the things I didn't like was the understeer that I was getting in the first turn of the circuit, the double right-handed turn before the carousel. The car didn't do that before, and it was easier to trail and rotate the car into that corner prior to all the suspension changes. And I'm not sure if this was a suspension issue or maybe just a driver issue. Like I'm diving into the corner with too much speed and not braking early enough, and so I jumped to trying to make a suspension change right off the bat, and I dialed in an additional click of compression in the rear of the car. So tire pressures were left the same. It was just 1 click in the rear, and this is the fastest lap of session 2.
Oh, gotta love those howls.
Okay, guys, that was session 2. Fastest lap of session 2 was a 1:31:07. So definitely shaved well over a second off my lap time. Some of that maybe contributed to the compression change that we made. And then a lot of it probably is contributed to me just getting used to the car and used to the track. Also for that session, I was following my buddy Austin in his Miata and noticed that he was taking a slightly different line in certain sections of the track. And so kind of learned a few things, and will, as we go on, you'll see me incorporate those lines into my line as well. Unfortunately for session 3, there was a little thing going on with the data logger, and we weren't getting lap times. I don't know what happened there. The only change we made for session 3 was one additional click of compression all around, and we left tire pressure completely the same. I don't know which lap to show you for session 3, and I guess what I'll do is kind of go through and look at the timestamps and try to pull it up and let you guys watch.
Push, go, 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 go. Short shift it. Pushing.
Okay, guys, so that was session number 3, and I think roughly the fastest lap there was about a 1:30, maybe like a 1:31, so either almost exactly identical to session 2 or a second faster somewhere. Car felt really good, and at this point we break for lunch. So I do take a peek at the weather. It looks like it's going to be bone dry the rest of the day, and go ahead and swap the semi-slicks onto the car. Start with 32 cold on the semi-slicks, and don't do any changes to the suspension. So here is the first run out in session 4 with completely different tires. Front 2 tires went off there.
are probably a little dirty. Got to be careful. Something and missed the braking point on that with greedy.
Okay, so for session 4, the fastest lap was 1:29.3. And it looks like we got back-to-back 129, so that's great to see. So the car is still improving, still getting faster. Previously, the fastest lap I had on the Generals at a previous event was a 1:36, so the fact that the Generals have now dropped to like a 1:30 is very impressive. And then previously on the semi-slicks, I was in the high 1:31s, and now I'm in the low 1:29s. So a 2-second improvement on the semi-slicks, which is awesome. So for session 5, what I did was adjust the tire pressures on the Federals, and when I came off the track, we were looking at 44 hot PSI, which is really high. I find that the Federals feel really well, or feel really good, and feel grippy around 38 pounds hot. Now, I don't know how the alignment has changed that and how the suspension has changed that, and I didn't bother using the pyrometer. So I just kind of just guessed and dropped the front left, rear left, and rear right to 38 hot PSI, and then left the front right at 1.5 pounds higher, just because it's we're making a ton of left-handed turns. And didn't do anything with the coilovers. So here is sessions 5 fastest lap.
Nope, not gonna work. Cooked it.
Okay, so that was session 5, and it looks like the fastest lap of session 5 was at 128 flat, and I'm looking at the data here, and it's showing me that there was quite a few 128s in there. So it's good to see the car is very consistent and capable. I think the track is starting to warm up here. So after lunch in session 4, it was cold, right? We had about an hour, maybe an hour and a half off track. Having people run for an hour on the track has warmed it up. Sun's coming out a little bit, and I'm getting more confident with the car. So the car's super capable. We gained over a second here. For session 6, which will be the last session of the day for me, I didn't make any changes, right? At this point, not really trying to screw with anything too much, even though I think there's more to do in terms of dialing tire pressure and dialing compression on the coilovers. At this point, I just wanted to see what I could get out of the car for the last session of the day. So here is the final session. It's fastest lap, session 6.
I think I'm losing pads. I think I'm overheating pads. That may have cost me. Didn't use enough of that track, that's going to cost me too. Well, maybe not.
So that was session 6. The fastest lap of session 6 was a 1:27.3. So it wasn't a second improvement, but still a huge improvement for me and for the car. The track day was a huge success. Thank you very much to Golden Gate Lotus Club for hosting such an amazing event and providing lunch. Shout out to Austin and Kyle for letting me know about the event and for kind of being just great track buddies. I will put a link to their channel in the description below, so please check out their videos. I think that the car still has more to give. Did see some 126s pop up on the predicted lap timer before I made mistakes or ran into traffic. So I think that just me improving as a driver, being more consistent, and then playing with the tires and the tire pressures and compression, I think 126 is doable, maybe even a 125. The car did suffer a good bump or good hit in the front left on one of the laps, and the alignment feels like it might be off. So I've got to quickly fix that before the next track day. We've got an event here in 1 week at Thunderhill East, and so hoping we can make some improvements on the laps, personal best from prior. If you have questions about the car or any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. And if you'd like to continue following me in this journey with the car, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.